welcome, Rohan. Rohan, can you please share your journey of the wellness company, how it started?
Sure, absolutely. Firstly, thank you so much for having me on. Pleasure of mine to be here and speaking with you and your viewers as well. In terms of
Same,
how the
same
journey
here.
with Wellness Co- yeah, thank you. So, in terms of how the journey with the Wellness Co began, I think it basically began 3 years ago when we first started our clinic. But before that,
Oh,
um, I had spent a significant amount of time in the US along with my family, where I was
hmm,
pursuing this as a career.
right.
And while I was there training every day, I was doing a lot of these services myself,
Oh,
and so was my younger brother,
okay.
which basically helped in our own recovery. So hyperbaric oxygen therapy, IV therapy,
Hmm,
red light therapy, cryotherapy, these were things that we were doing consistently
okay,
for our own benefit.
nice.
After which I went to college in Orlando. I was there for 4 years, graduated, moved back in 2019, and
Okay.
wanted to continue these services, wanted to continue doing these therapies in Delhi, which is where I am based out of.
Hmm,
But the avenue to do these services was not available because there were only a couple of very small players in the
hmm,
market who only
hmm,
had maybe one therapy or two therapies. So it
right.
was a bit disjointed, which is when
Okay.
we decided that we should, maybe give this a shot, give this a stab, set up something,
Hmm,
and put together these therapies and see how things begin. So
okay.
we started one small center in Gurgaon at the time, and
Hmm,
over the course of the last 3 years, we have rapidly expanded. Currently, we have the Gurgaon center. We
hmm.
have one more in Gurgaon, which is in collaboration with Zomato
Oh,
uh, on Extension Road. We have one in Delhi, which is in Defense Colony.
hmm,
We have two more in Mumbai on
hmm,
Marine Drive and on Linking Road. We have
hmm,
two more in Bangalore. We have one more in Hyderabad.
hmm.
And currently there are a few clinics that are being set up. So Chennai should be up and running in about a month and a half's time.
Oh,
Uh, Going to be opening on Club Road in Punjabi Bagh, which is in West Delhi. That should again
hmm,
be open come January. And
hmm,
after
hmm,
which
hmm.
we're looking at Ludhiana and Ahmedabad 2 to 3 months after that.
Great, great.
So that's where we're at, and that's how
Yeah.
the journey began, and I hope it
Very
continues.
rapid, very rapidly you have grown so fast. So how
Yes,
did
yes.
you identify the gap in the wellness industry?
Sure. So the gap in the wellness industry was actually came to us quite naturally because when I had come back to India and whenever there was a conversation that was had around wellness with anyone, it was mainly centered around yoga or going to a spa, getting a massage,
Right,
things like
right,
this, getting some aesthetic treatments for someone's face, stuff
right,
like that. So it really
right.
wasn't wellness the way wellness should be looked at, and
Hmm,
especially not tech-driven wellness, which is what we specialize in. So,
hmm.
so we believed that this was a gap in the market, which is why we entered the market, and yeah, that's how it began.
Okay, so what is your business model and how do you generate revenue from that?
Sure. So the business model is pretty straightforward. It's a completely service-based industry, as you understand. We have quite a wide footprint all across the country. The way we generate revenue is actually through packages.
Hmm,
These packages can be anywhere from a month to all the way to 365 days, which is a full year.
hmm,
There is a reason why we do this. It's because the services that we offer is not something that you can just come into the center, do one session of cryotherapy, and
hmm.
immediately feel a lot of benefits from that. This is something that needs to be integrated into your lifestyle. You need to be
Yes,
doing this
yes.
routinely, quite frequently to understand what it does and to feel the benefits at a much greater level.
Hmm.
So yeah, we sell packages currently, and that's
Okay,
how the revenue.
okay. Could you please share the details about securing initial funding and the recent investment from Is My Trip?
Sure. So the Ease My Trip funding, it's a completely equity-based funding. It's 60 CR in exchange for
Oh,
30% equity in our parent company, which is Rollins International Private Limited,
okay.
which has three brands that it runs, which is Pure Foods, the Wellness Co, and YouBody.
Hmm.
Of course, a significant amount of this funding will be concentrated towards the Wellness Co, with a little bit going towards Pure Foods and YouBody as well to grow all three brands simultaneously.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. So, what have been the biggest challenges in building the brand?
Sure. So, in my opinion, the biggest challenge for us over the last 3 years has been generating awareness around the therapies that we offer.
Hmm,
It's because these therapies, especially when we started, were at such a nascent stage where only
hmm.
select individuals who are well-traveled and understand the services really knew
Oh,
about it.
hmm,
So, to build the awareness in the market for our services, there was a lot of effort that we had to do on our Instagram page, which we still continue to do today to
hmm,
generate awareness of therapies, to make people understand what they do and why they're beneficial.
hmm.
So that's been the biggest challenge. It continues to be the biggest challenge, but I believe that in the next 2 to 3 years, with India growing as quickly as it is, and with more acceptability coming in for these services, and hopefully maybe even one or two other players entering the market and doing their own awareness,
Hmm.
um, will
It
improve
will,
and people will
yeah,
start to become more aware of these services
right,
in general.
right, right. So, what are your long-term goals for the wellness company in terms of growth and product innovation?
Sure. So, in terms of growth, the long-term goals are obviously to have a much larger footprint across the country,
Hmm.
even more than we have now.
Hmm.
After that, even aim to open internationally. So, we're already looking at markets such as the UAE, other
Hmm.
countries within Southeast Asia,
Hmm.
even some European markets, and hopefully the US in some time as well. And product innovation is something that we always are continuously doing.
Hmm.
There are equipments and machinery that we have which
Hmm.
sometimes becomes out of date. So we always switch that out with the newer model or something else that offers even more benefits. So there's constant work going towards product innovation as well.
Hmm. 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 So, can you please provide advice to fellow entrepreneurs or startups who wanted to, succeed in their career?
Sure. So, as I'm sure you know, and your viewers would know as well, there's been a massive wave of entrepreneurship that has hit India
Hmm.
within the last 5 to 10 years, I'd say, which is very good for the country because
Yeah.
business owners, it's wonderful. We provide jobs to the people in the country as well, and sort of help the country grow at a much larger scale. What I would basically recommend to people is to maybe really sit down and focus on identifying a gap in the market, which they believe that they could plug,
Hmm.
and really focus their efforts towards that. And even
Hmm.
if it's not a gap in the market, maybe identify a service industry or whatever it might be,
Hmm.
where things can be done a little bit differently. So you can
Hmm.
have a unique proposition for yourself and for your brand, for your company, whichever you set up. So that's what I would focus on. And once you've done that, then just a lot of time and effort to just hammer it home, and 3 to 4 years of lot of work, grow that company, and then it sort of just takes care of itself.
Great, great, great. Thank you, Rohan, for joining us today on Bharti
Of
Media
course.
Talk Show. Let's start up. And a big thank to our viewers for tuning in. We will love to hear your thoughts on today's episode. So please share your feedback in the comment box or email us. Don't forget to follow us on social media for more updates. We'll see you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.